guys, this is Christine with Cards by Christine coming to you on a Tip Tuesday. It is time to go over the Gilded Leafing. I have had at least 3 people ask me about the Gilded Leafing in the last 3 weeks. And what I generally do is give them the link to the Art Floral video. It was Art Gallery video that I did back, I think it was in February. So I am going to have the link for that video in this Tip Tuesday as well. So if anybody wants to go back and watch the class where the card that I'm showing today was made, you can do that. Now, disclaimer is that some of the colors or products on this card are in fact retired, but the Gilded Leafing was carried over to the annual catalog. So I have a few ways that I would use the Gilded Leafing, and I'm going to show those 3 ways. Now, you guys know that you're always welcome to add comments as to how you would do use the products. Like, let's say you have a different way that you can do that, use it. You guys, I love that. It makes me also see that there's other ways too. So just like I loved when Anna Rebedu commented that you could color those snowflakes with the blending, the Stampin' Blends. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, you can. Completely like over the head. So yes, you guys, you're more than welcome to comment and add other tips and tricks that you have with the Gilded Leafing. It's very, very staticky and can be very messy and can be very intimidating and overwhelming unless you come in with your confident pants on, right? So that's what we need to do. I'm hoping that by showing you a little bit about how I would work with it, that it will encourage you to actually open your bottle or jar up, because I bet a lot of you bought this and never have opened it up. So it's time to do it. So, are you ready? Okay, let's flip our still skin down. We are in the annual catalog that goes till April of 2022. Oh my gosh. April? When does it retire? No. May 2nd. Okay, interesting. That threw me for a loop, you guys. I just looked at that right now. It says April of 2022, but it really, in fact, is done on May 2nd. That's what I was like, well, it's actually May. So anyways, go to page 143. In the bottom right-hand corner is number 12. It is called Gilded Leafing. It says 3 grams gold. Everything else has some sort of description, but this just says, I'm thinking 3G means gold. So let me get you a jar, actually. I have all mine. You guys, I showed this on the live last night. I have mine in a container. So when you go to buy it, it actually comes in this pot. It's like a pot of gold. Oh my gosh. Okay, pot of gold. And I'm wondering if it is, in fact, if that 3G means like not 3 gigs, but if it means grams. Because this stuff is super, super duper light. I'm not seeing anything. But anyways, and it's nice because it comes in a plastic bag. When I got one of these, it was cracked open and it like starts to sprinkle everywhere in your box. That's not good. So, all right. So when I have this out in public, I generally keep this in a drawer. But when I have it out, I put on here, do not open. It's so staticky. And you're going to see that when I open it up. So back to here. So page 143, Gilded Leafing. That's where you can find it. Also, I'm going to be using the Versamark today. The Versamark and the Heat and Stick Powder. So Versamark's on page 129. The Heat and Stick Powder, well, I'm going to use the Heat tool, which is on page 128. And then the Heat and Stick Powder. I didn't look this up ahead of time. Well, I thought that the Heat and Stick Powder was for sale yet. And I don't know if it's not on these 2 pages. I honestly don't know where in the catalog it would be. So if you don't have the Heat and Stick Powder, you might have something comparable, or you might have the Heat and Stick Powder. So I'm going to show it anyways, because I bet, I don't know. I don't know if clear embossing powder would work or not. But anyways, enough on that. If you guys, I don't know, so we'll figure it out. The clear embossing powder, it's actually not clear embossing powder. It's Heat and Stick Powder. What happens is you heat it up and stuff sticks to it. And they sold this in the same catalog, the spring catalog, as this. This carried over. This may not have, but I'm going to still show you how to use it because you probably, most likely might have bought that. Okay, you'll need your Versamark pad. The other thing is liquid glue. We're going to use that. And the other thing is the tear-in tape. Okay, so I did a sweet class back, I want to say it was February of this year, featuring Art Gallery. This was one of the cards. And this card actually uses the Gilded Leafing in two ways. I use it along the outside here to create a border. And then you can kind of see it right in the middle of the flower. That's actually using this stamp here. The one, I was going to use it on this background, but it wouldn't have gotten, it would have gotten covered up too much. So I want to start with that one first because that one needs a little time to dry. And you guys, I hate wasting paper. So I went through my drawer and I'm like, ooh, I got to find an embossed piece of paper because it works really cool with an embossed piece of paper. This is from that art set. I don't know, you guys, I did a Tip Tuesday and we cut that out, talking about the hybrid embossing folder. I couldn't throw this away, so I threw it in my drawer, and we're going to use it today. But I'm trying to show you, there's leaves, there's patterns on here. Okay, there you can kind of see it. So what you can do is you can create your own sort of tackiness by using liquid glue. So let's get a piece of paper and put that down first. So maybe you guys will see that better. Okay, so what happens when you use the liquid glue is it's wet. You cannot mix anything wet with this stuff. It will be a mess. So you have to give it time to dry. And I've thought of this. I'm like, oh, this would actually be kind of cool. There's leaves, and leaves have veins. And so what I'm gonna do is take my glue and kind of draw where the veins are on here. Thin little lines, okay? So while this is drying, we're gonna show you, or I'm gonna show you, I'm not here with anybody. I don't have a frog in my pocket either. So I'm gonna show you the other two ways. But I actually was gonna do that, what I'm doing right now with the glue, I was gonna do it on this one. This is the painted texture embossing folder on the background, and there's little lines of the marbling, and I thought that would have looked kind of cool. So all I'm doing is drawing these lines on the leaves, and I'm hoping that it looks cool when I'm done. I just want to show you, like, this is when you have something that's embossed or even just stamped and you want to add the gold to it, you have to make it so it's tacky and sticks to it, but you can't put it on wet glue. So we're going to let this dry over here, out of sight, out of mind, over there, so we don't get in it. I'm going to show you the other two ways. So what we're going to do first is the flower. So the flower, you guys, this is a retired color. It's actually Rococo Rose with Mary Merlot. And we're going to make the flower. So why not? Let's make the flower. I think these stamps are due for a good washing. Yeah, they aren't so sticky anymore. I should actually clean them. I think Kathy Jackson had a fabulous idea. She commented in the Tip Tuesday where we talked about cleaning stamps. She asked if we could take this sheet right here and slide it into the back. Oh, yep, right here. Slide it into this back case and then have the pictures underneath and then not use the cellophane sheets. And I said, by all means, yes, you could do that. That would be awesome. I'm not going to go do that to all my stamps, but that is an option. Like right now, if I want to go clean these, I would do that potentially. So, okay, so that's called Art Gallery. It's a photopolymer set. So we're going to just put the mat here and we're going to stamp. I just grabbed a scrap of Very Vanilla, and we're gonna, so what happens when stamps aren't so clean and sticky, they fall off really easily. So I'm gonna squish that really good. So this is the more solid outline. That needs to go at, wow, that's really dry. That needs to be re-inked. Okay, that's a little bit better, but we're gonna get this at second strength right here. And then, so it's a little lighter. Then we're gonna do, oh man, let's clean it right away. You guys, I gotta teach you cleaning, right? Clean your stamps when you're done with them. I really only grabbed one block. I'm like, oh, I can do it with one block. Okay, so then take that off, flip that away, and then this one's gonna be at full strength over the top. Kind of just lines up, makes a pretty flower. Ooh, it's so pretty. Okay, so then what we're gonna do, squeaky, 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 clean that. Might as well put our stem on right away. And then this is Old Olive with a little something there, but we'll work past it. Let's see how dark this is. So I always like to see how dark it is. Oh, that'll be good at first strength. And that's gonna go right there. Okay, so far, so pretty. I mean, it's just pretty the way it is. Then there's this little itsy bitsy inside flower stamp. And that's gonna go on the little block. Okay, so heat gun is plugged in over here, right? And we're done with these. We're done with this. Getting stuff out of the way. Okay, we need the Versamark pad. I'm going to open this up, but not take it off, right? Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. And I'm gonna use Versamark. Now, this is where I don't think this heat and stick powder is still available, but you guys can still find it. If it is, buy it, and if it isn't, find somewhere else that has it, I guess. That's my advice. It's when you heat it up, it becomes sticky. And less is best. So this looks very faint and delicate and light. So what it is this guy's stamped over here and stamped over there. But when you do this, you don't want to squish so hard and get a lot of ink on it. You really only want a little bit. And we are going to grab a little piece of paper to pour our powder onto, because I don't have a little tub. Usually I have my stuff in tubs. Okay, so Versamark, tap, tap, tap. Really light over here. Like, I hardly pressed on it at all. I don't want it to be so super duper thick. Okay, okay, heat powder. It's clear. It's gonna be really hard to see it. But you're gonna sprinkle that over the top. And then my general rule of thumb is I like to try to get as much right back in. Now, you see all that white? It's stuck all over there. Okay, so that's not good. That means that the gold will stick everywhere where that is. So do you see that white? That is not good. So it's good to have a little brush, a little paint brush, and you might just scrape some of that off of there, because wherever this heat and stick powder is, I'm wondering if it's stuck there because my ink was somewhat damp yet. I'm just going to get some of this off of here. Okay? Because wherever that heat and stick powder is, that's where the gold is going to stick. And you're going to lose, it's just going to be a big clump of gold. Not bad, but it will look very Goldilocks. Okay, so let's get this off over here. So a paintbrush is really good to have around when you're doing this. Okay, so I'm going to see what's left here. Get that in there. Cover this up. I always like to cover when I emboss. I like to cover it before I heat it up. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to heat this up from the bottom, okay? And then we're going to go to our pot of gold over here. Okay, so I'm going to heat this up and heat it from the bottom. And I don't know if you guys will see it start, I don't know if you will or not, but it's going to basically turn more clear and not white. And I don't know, I've always heard with this stuff, you go from behind. Okay, so now it's heated up. You gotta just be really careful. You're gonna go in here. While it's still warm, you're gonna just squish that down in here. Okay? See, it's like, it wants to like staticky. Okay, so don't be afraid of it. It's okay. It's really okay. So you see what's happening is it's stuck. This big chunky monkey stuck to it. But what you do is you have to take and push the gold into the heat and stick powder. And it should stick where you had that heat and stick powder all warmed up. Okay, so when you first get it, there's a lot of this This stuff. You see how big that is? Like, that's huge. Like, as you work with this and it breaks down, it'll come into little pieces like this. Okay? So this just adds a little bit of flecking to projects, little gold dustings, and it depends on what you stamp. So you can see it adhered really well over there, but it didn't stick so well over here because I might have not heated. Oh, maybe I should try heating it. Okay, I'm just gonna experiment here, you guys. Just experimenting. I really would have wanted more to stick over here, and there's not a lot of powder over there. I feel like I probably scraped off a lot, but I'm gonna heat this up just to see if maybe I can heat it back up. Just to see if it warms back up, and then pop it back in and see if something will stick on there. You can use your fingers. Don't be afraid. It's not going to hurt you. The one thing it does, oh, that helped. Oh, yeah. Okay, that was perfect. It needed to be hotter for the stick to, and I needed to get in there faster. So it does have a picture on here of like fish, wildlife. Don't be pouring any of this stuff down the drain. It's not good in your water system, okay? Or I should say our water system. Okay, do you see what I did there? I heated it up a little longer, and now, where's my pokey tool? Here. Now it ended up putting more gold right there. So it just adds a little accent. And now that shouldn't come off. After you kind of brush against it, all the loose stuff will come off, and then whatever stuck will be stuck. Okay. So we're going to shut this back up because if I sneeze, it's going everywhere. Okay, let's take a look at this. You can see it's starting to dry. You can see where I put the glue. It's shiny, but it's clear. So we're going to let that dry a little bit more yet. Okay, so another way you can use this is by using tear and tape. So for this card, actually cut my tear and tape in half because I thought, oh, this was too solid. It was too thick, like too wide, too overbearing. So what I did is I measured what I needed, and I'm going to take my glue scissors and I'm going to cut this in half as best I can. Now, I know I have some of my customers that come to class and they have the red sticky tape stuff, and it's cut at 1/8 of an inch. And when I had this class, they actually brought that, and it worked perfectly well because who really likes to cut tear and tape in half? Nobody, really. So it worked out really good. But when you need to, you cut your tear and tape in half, and it will work just fine. So we're going to take that. Now the side that is the straight side and not the cut side, that's what I want to go in so that it's straight. Okay, so that's going from end to end, and then you're going to do that on this other side as well. Okay, but we're not done because we need to do the top and the bottom. So it's going to cut a little bit. Again, you got to cut it in half. Now, if you want a thicker gold look, you do not need to cut this in half, but just know that that's why wanted it a little more dainty, so it's getting cut in half, and that kind of went crooked. Don't cut your finger while you're doing this. Okay, just like that. Okay, now the thing is I cut them really long, so I am going to peel off to make sure it's sticking nice and good. I'm going to peel off the one side, and what I'm going to do is actually fold it right back onto itself without like going over the line. I don't want it on the back side because it'll collect gold on the back side. And then, oh man, come on. Let's get you off of here. Come on, little guy. We're gonna go to this side. I'm gonna try to get it with that nail. Okay, that worked to do it backwards. Okay, so then I'm gonna just flip that back. Flip that back. Now just remember, wherever you get this tape, it's going to stick to it. So now we're gonna do this one here. And it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Sometimes that abstract offness looks good as well. So it's like it's meant to be that way. Like you did it intentionally, right? Okay, I am going to trim. Oh, that's the thing you could do too. You could have just trimmed them and then they're not overhanging and have to roll them back, y'all. Okay, we'll clean that up in a second. And then, are you ready? This is my favorite. I like the tear and tape the best actually because it's not wet glue. You didn't have to use a Versamark pad. You could just use your glue. You could even use tape runner, right? If you want to use this, I'll show you that. I'll set it here so I don't forget. Okay, so now that you've got all this sticky tape all over the place, you're gonna put that in here, okay? Beware of gold dust. Okay, we're gonna put this right, okay, so the sticky side's all the way around. You're just gonna set it in here. So, you're more than welcome to use your fingers, or this brush is not the best, I'll be honest with you. It's my painting brush for when I need to touch up the walls in here. So it's not very good. A bristly brush is the best. Okay, so look what's going on. It's like a hot mess of gold, guys. Okay, so this is not how it needs to be. But what you do, if it were me, and this is what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my fingers and you just kind of massage it off. Like it'll only stick where the tear and tape is. Okay? So you can, I hope you can see, I don't know if you guys can see, I'm just scraping it with my fingers. It's really secure on the tear and tape. It's very staticky too, so it sticks everywhere. Okay, so a little like that. Okay. So this is how it starts off as big chunks, but then as you use it, it breaks down until it becomes like a little dust. But then it still works just fine as a little dust because it still will stick to the glue. So this is just creating a really cool frame with the gold. Okay, so that's how I would do that. Okay, there's a little loose pieces there. You still want to get those little loosey-gooseys off of there. Okay, so just like that. It's beautiful. I love the gold frame around it, and then just that little accent is so cool. Okay, so I'm going to set this here, and now we're going to look at this. Now this stuff is all dry. You can see it's shiny. It's not white anymore. It's clear. So I'm going to just dip that down in here now, right? Any way that you can get it to stick, as long as it's not like a wet adhesive, that's what you need. Okay, so now you flip this over, and again, it'll stick in big chunks to wherever the glue is. So now you're just gonna push it into the glue, like the dried glue, the tacky glue, right? And then you're just gonna use your hands. Now, if this bothers you touching this stuff, wear some gloves. It's okay. But wherever I put those lines, I put them primarily in the middle of the leaves. Oh man, we got one that jumped ship. Get back in there, little guy. Okay. Just rubbing this with my fingers like this. Tap, tap, tap. Get some stuff off of it, and then I go around again. Now, if you had the brush, like a wide brush, wide bristle brush, you could be scraping it like that too, and that works. I feel like I have a lot more control with it with my fingers. That's why I do that, but you can see it's stuck to wherever I put the little lines of liquid glue. Now, liquid glue is a little bit thick coming out. If you had a fine tip glue pen, okay, so mine, my friend Mandy used it to put jewels all over my face for Halloween. She didn't put the cover back on overnight, and I couldn't get that little thing back on, and now I've got a fine tip glue pen that I have a lot of glue in the bottle, but I can't use it because of the tip. So I was thinking the fine tip glue pen would give you really fine little lines on something and let it dry. I've just remembered that I gotta buy a new one. I wish that they sold just the cover so that I could just buy a new cover. You could put these thin little lines with your liquid glue, your fine tip glue pen, So they're not quite as thick as this, but you can see what happened is that it just stuck right to where all the glue is. So pretty cool. Okay, so we talked about this. Okay, let's try the tape yet. So I'm gonna be very, very, very careful. And I think I'm going to just go on the back of this. So this is like tape runner, right? So your stamp and seal, you guys, whatever you use for your tape runner. I'm not a big fan of this, but because it never works for me, I always get it off the edge of the thing and then I gotta work it back on. Okay, now what I did is I ran a little bit of that. You can see it ever so lightly, just about an inch there. And we're gonna just put this on the back and I'm gonna show you. Same thing happens. It sticks right to it. And then it's going to, you just use your finger and brush it right off. And then wherever that tape is, you can see it stuck to it. Let's get over there. Yep, so you can see it stuck. So I think that now that you guys see how this works, you should be pretty confident in knowing that as long as you use dried glue, like not dried glue, let's see here, a glue dot will work too. So it can't be a liquidy, wet form of glue. So here's a little glue dot, okay? I'm gonna put that on the back here. Same thing will happen. I'm gonna push that right in here. And you see like the big chunks right there, just there. And oh, so this would be cool if you guys wanna make like little nail heads like on the corners of your cards. It looks like a gold nail. If you keep it as a circle as much as possible, that is super cool. It almost makes it like it's an embellishment. Okay, is that not cool? That just reminds me too, I bet it doesn't even have to be just paper that you do this on. I bet you could, and you guys will tell me if I'm right or wrong, or if you've tried it before, I bet if you're using like a brad or some sort of like a rhinestone, you could put the glue over the rhinestone and like, so you could get different shapes of embellishments and putting the gold on it. That looked awesome. It looks like a nail head, kind of like you pounded it into the paper and it's like a nail, kind of like a brad. So there, okay, so I hope you get the general concept that you're not gonna be able to work with it in its jar. It needs to be in its self-contained area where you can put full pieces of paper or these, a good sized piece of paper. Don't sneeze on it. And then using a tacky glue that is not wet by any means. It has to be dry. Like, not you guys, it's not dry, but it's not wet and makes for a mess, okay? So you can see different ways that you can add this to your projects. And I wish that it came in silver as well because I love silver or like more grays. Okay, I hope that you guys are gonna take your gold leafing and put it to the test and start making some cards with it. Christmas is upon us and there's a lot of gold in Christmas cards usually. The Eden's Garden has gold in it, right? So here's your challenge. Go make a card using this, and then when the Sunday share comes, make sure you share that card in the Sunday share and call out that you use the gold leafing. I want to see it. Get it out and use it, guys. Okay? That's my challenge. All right. So thank you to the few people that reached out to me and asked about this gold leafing. It prompted me to be like, okay, it's time for that Tip Tuesday. So I like that when I get ideas what to do for Tip Tuesday. So what's next, you guys? It's going to be Turkey Day on Thursday. So watch for Kelly's Technique Thursday and watch for a replay on Thursday using a current bundle in the annual catalog, but it's from a class from last November, actually. It's the sweet class from last November. So, and then you guys don't eat too much turkey, relax a little bit, enjoy your time with your family, and then we'll see you for the retirement walkthrough last chance product thing that I'm going to do on probably Friday. So, all right, lots of sunshine, love, and hugs to you guys. We'll see you later. Bye.